will be modeling place value decomposition in an area model. We have used place value decomposition when adding and multiplying just one-digit numbers, but today we're learning how to decompose and multiply two two-digit numbers. Place value decomposition is important when multiplying larger numbers because we can break numbers into their place values to create friendlier numbers to multiply. The use of an area model is important so we can see where the numbers are coming from and what numbers we need to add together to find our final answer. We will soon be learning how to use the standard algorithm for multiplication, and by decomposing numbers, we can understand the parts better when multiplying larger numbers. So today we're going to be multiplying 15 times 23. This means that we have 15 groups of 23. So when I start decomposing the numbers, so if I start with 15, I want to look at the place value. So if I start with 15, I see that there's a 5 in the ones place, so I'm going to write a 5, and I see that there is a 1 in the tens place, so I know that is 10, and I'm going to add those. So I see 10 plus 5 equals 15. I'm going to do the same thing with 23. So I look at 3 and I see that it's in the ones place, so I'm going to write a 3. And then I look at the 2 and I see that it's in the tens place, so I know that's 20. So 20 plus 3 equals 23. So I can rewrite that next to this number equals, so 15 times 23 equals 10 plus 5 times 20 plus 3. So now we have decomposed 15 and 23 into friendlier numbers to work with. And now that we have our numbers, we are going to create a square for our area model. Now when I'm creating my square, I decomposed 15 and 23 into 4 different numbers. So I have 10 plus 5, or 10 and 5, 20 and 3. So those are the 4 numbers that we have. So when we're creating our area model, we want to make sure that we create 4 squares. So I'm going to create a vertical line, and that gives us 2 squares, but we need 2 more. So I'm also going to create a horizontal line. So that way we have 4 different squares that we can see. Now, I think to myself, where am I writing my numbers? Well, on the outside of our square, we're going to write the numbers that we decompose. So on the top, I'm going to write a 10. And I want to remember what these numbers mean. So I'm going to write plus, in the middle, 5, to show it's 10 plus 5, which is 15. So I make sure that I write my 10 above the first square, so on the left of the vertical line. Okay, and then when I write my 5, I make sure that I write it above the second square and that it is on the right of our vertical line. So that way the numbers are separated for right now. Then on the left side, I'm going to write 20 plus 3. And the same thing, so now I want to make sure that my 20 is above the horizontal line and that the 3 is below the horizontal line. So now we have all our numbers that we just decomposed, and now I want to multiply my numbers. So I'm going to look at this first top left square right here, and I'm going to look and see on top, I see that there's a 10, and to the left I see that there's a 20, so I'm going to multiply 10 times 20, and using mental math, we know that equals 200. Okay, then I'm going to go to my bottom left square right here, and I see that there's a 10 on top and a 3 on the left. So I'm going to multiply 10 times 3. I know that is equal to 30. Then I am going to go to my top right square. And if I look, I see there is a 5 on top and a 20 to the left. So I'm going to multiply 5 times 20. We know that's 100. We have one more square now. It's our bottom right square. And I see that there's a 5 on top and a 3 on the left. So 5 times 3 equals 15. So now we have all our numbers that we just multiplied, all our products. Now I think to myself, how do I find my answer from these numbers? Well, since we decomposed, we broke apart 15 and 23 into simpler numbers, 10 plus 5 and 20 plus 3. I want to go back and add all our products back together to give us our final answer. So what I'm going to do is I see I have 200. So I'm going to write 200 plus 100. And we know that is equal to 300. Then I see that I still have a 30 and a 15. So first I'm going to add 300 plus 30. And we know that equals 330. I have one number left, and that is 15. So I'm going to add 330 plus 15. And that gives me 345 as our final answer. So now we know that 15 times 23 equals 345. This is our final answer. So if we go back and look at what we have done, we see that we decomposed 15 by its place value. So 5 was in the ones place, plus 1 that was in the tens place. So 10 plus 5 equals 15. Same thing for 23. 3 is in the ones place, and 2 was in the tens place. So we had 20 plus 3 equals 23. Then we used our area model to see what numbers we are supposed to multiply. So we got 10 times 20 equals 200, 5 times 20 equals 100, 10 times 3 equals 30, and 5 times 3 equals 15. And then at the end, since we broke apart all our numbers, we needed to add them all back together. So that's what we do with the numbers that are inside our big square, is we add them back together to get our final answer. And this is how we decompose and use an area model, which we will use in further multiplication problems with larger numbers, because a big number can be hard to just look at and multiply. But if we decompose the number into simpler, more friendlier numbers, then it can make it easier for us to multiply. And with the area model, we see exactly what numbers we should be adding together to get our final answer.